Hello everyone, I wanted to make this YouTube video to show that I don't use a CMS system anymore. I don't use WordPress, I don't use Drupal. The main reason is it's I had these comment spams there, and come to find out they're coming from some hidden attachment page on a theme that I was using. And I kind of got frustrated with that, so even for my business site, I switched over to using a Hugo site that I made myself. So yeah, this site is one that I found while researching uh, like problems with one of my friends' Hondas there, and it's a really nice site. You'll find a lot of useful information on it, but because it is a WordPress site, you can just navigate to /wp admin, and if you don't have a strong enough password on this or your password gets leaked, like anyone can essentially just log into here, change your content. And that is the nice thing about using HTML static pages is you don't have this attack vector. You can secure your web host with an SSH key pair, and that is a lot harder for a potential malicious actor to crack than just a simple password. Of course, you can make WordPress secure, use a good password, change it frequently, and keep your WordPress instance up to date. I've seen a lot of people just have their websites hacked easily just because they don't keep their WordPress instances up to date, and they get attacked by some cross-site scripting attack or some other way to breach into it using some other vulnerability. There is a reason why WordPress and plugin makers will make updates to WordPress. They do address security concerns when they do so. But that rant over is like, yeah, so I just kind of got frustrated. I just kind of want a leave me alone approach to my websites. So I built all my personal websites using Hugo. And the nice thing about Hugo is you essentially build like the HTML files. So the base of which is what wraps everything essentially. You can just specify blocks, then like in your index, for instance, or your list page. So this is your default list page. It'll actually pull like stuff out of like each page. It'll pull like the date out of that one. It'll pull the relative permalink, the title, and it'll do the rest for you. So this will find any pages like underneath the page that it's generating for, pull the date of each page that's under that page, the link, and then the title. Then once it's done with the last one, it'll end, close the list, close the div tag. And you can have a bunch of content types. So I have blog and projects, and they all have uh, different parameters that they like sort by and stuff like that. So essentially this goes by title instead of by date, which is a default for Hugo. So once you get that set up, it's just a matter of essentially creating markdown files, running the script for your Hugo build, which is just Hugo, and it'll show up in this public directory right here. So to create like a markdown file using your archetype, so like I got this blog archetype, so that will put the date in, and the default archetype only does the name. So you can do something like Hugo new projects slash we'll do and that'll create that file, and by default it'll pull this file name for the title, but I already have one typed up, so we'll just do like one of those cooking shows where everything is already prepared by default, and you just kind of show them bringing it out on there we go, that's me bringing out the finished product. uh, so yeah, essentially you just do this, then Hugo will automatically generate a page for this upon building, and you can actually script it to upload to the web server. So I have the Hugo server running in the background here. So essentially you just type in Hugo server, press enter, and it'll look in this directory for your site files, and it'll build it and host it on localhost 1313 or with port 1313. So I have this on this tab. So now if we go into projects, that family cookbook is there. So it's not showing the, I might have to close out and reopen the server. For some reason it's not showing the description there. Oh, that's why. That helps. There we go. So yeah, so it automatically creates these pages based on your markdown content. And you'll notice like in my markdown content I have this thing. This is called a Hugo shortcode. So if you or encase stuff in double curly braces and arrows, it'll go to this shortcode, this new window shortcode, and what that does is it pretty much makes a link that will open up in a new tab or a new window. Uh, so yeah, that's why I'm using there, and that's to explain that. So yeah, once you get everything all set up, your preview, your Hugo server works or has the content you want on it and is showing it correctly. You can then run your build process. What I do with mine is I actually script mine. Uh, so yeah, we'll just do that. We'll close out of that, go clear. So I have this upload site script. So that'll build the site with Hugo, and then it'll upload it to my web host using my SSH key pair. Uh, for now, I'll just show my example. So essentially, you just run Hugo in the directory, and it'll generate everything into this public directory. Then you run this rsync command with the -a and the -P, the delete tag. So if there's a file that exists on the server that doesn't exist in your build directory, it'll delete it. Then it'll grab from the source, which is this public folder, which is what Hugo builds in. Then you just specify your remote username at remote hostname or IP, then colon remote path. And that will upload everything to your web host that Hugo builds. And then you do like a, well, I did it in this case because sometimes I delete content, and sometimes when you delete content in Hugo, it'll remain in the public folder until you manually delete it or you clear it out and then just have it rebuild the whole thing. So I just scripted it to do that process too, just in case, yeah, down the road I delete content. I don't mind spending a few extra milliseconds rebuilding the thing, but if I have any deleted content, I don't want that to stay on the web server and just take up space. It's kind of limited because I'm just using the cheapest of the cheap Linode web server. So it's like, yeah, I don't really want it taking up space on my web server if I decide to delete it. So yeah, that's how the script works. So essentially, I'll just run it. /upload site, and that script will run. You can see it upload everything. Everything's 100%, so that's good. Uh, then I'll switch over to here, which is my actual site. I'll click projects. I'll do a refresh on that. And there we go. That content that I just added is right there. So it's like, yeah, you can see it shows up even if I back out and go back to it. So that's how you run a site effectively without using a content management system, is using a static site generator like Hugo. So I guess this ends the video. Everyone have a good day, and thanks for watching.